Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Wealth and Wellness Podcast. Again, with my host, I am main host Devo Sherman, and today we're going to talk about the psychology of spending money. I cannot wait for this topic and for us to really deep dive into it. And I think a lot of people associate themselves with being social proof. And what I mean by that is people want to have that status. You know, when you buy more things that are luxurious or something like that, you kind of associate yourself with a certain type of status. So we're gonna really take a deep dive in understanding as to why people do that from an emotional standpoint and from a financial aspect as well. So, but before we do anything, we're gonna do a quick health and wellness check-in. So, LaWanda, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good today. Y'all, I'm feeling real good today. I had a challenging day and it just turned out to be a little bit better than what I thought it was gonna be. So I'm having a great day. How about you?
I would say I'm doing better than most, but sometimes, well, today was kind of like hanging from a cliff almost in a sense, only because I'm learning so much, and sometimes when you learning so much, it can be information overload, and it's like trying to figure out how to navigate through some things that I have experienced personally, which we'll probably dive into later on. Ashley?
Yes, I'm Ashley Duke. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and I'm also an owner of a group mental health therapy practice. Today, I'm feeling accomplished. Today, I say that because I wrote down some of my goals I wanted to do. I usually did it on Sundays, and then I just knocked a few things out. So I feel really accomplished today.
Yeah, you look accomplished too.
Yeah.
Eder?
Hey. What's up, y'all? Eder, checking in. I feel great. As always, I'm ecstatic. First podcast in a while for me,
Man,
so
wow.
I'm happy to be back, and I know we're gonna have a great show. Happy to be here with my beautiful people.
Yeah.
Thank y'all.
Yeah.
I appreciate y'all.
Yeah,
for showing
good
up.
to have you.
Yeah.
I think you like you better than Terrence.
I mean, I am a hell of a
Terrence,
guy, but it's kind of hard to keep up with T.
Yeah, it's definitely
done a lot.
no, he's
My dog
pretty
just
good.
came back
Nah,
from
that's my guy though.
overseas.
That's my guy. Yeah, that's my guy. So, what emotions are typically associated with spending habits?
I'll say impulsiveness. That's one big one. We can just throw some things out there. But yeah, impulsive spending is definitely a big thing when it comes down to the psychology behind spending.
I will also say hurt and pain. When people get upset or they're hurt, I feel like that's where the whole retail therapy comes in at, like some type of emotion or where they're hurting and it's a relief for them. You know what I mean? It hits that dopamine in them I gotta just buy something. So I would say the emotion that I think people feel is some type of pain or anger or frustration is one of the biggest reasons.
Yeah, that's crazy because I know when I get emotional, I don't like go out and spend. Like that's
That's
different. For me.
good.
That's
I'm
a
like,
very
I
big
didn't even
thing.
know that was a thing.
But that
until y'all
means
mentioned something
you in
about it.
control of your emotions.
Stoic.
Sort of.
Stoic.
Yeah.
I'm stoic.
Stoic. Yeah.
I'm stoic.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's happy and sad. You know, we can just like kind of I would break it down as simple as that in the principles of people. I mean, when you happy with what you do, it's your birthday. What you want to do? You want to be happy. You want to, you know what I'm saying, go out. You want to have a good time. So you spend money on, trying to look good, trying to make yourself feel good. So you throw out money. When you sad, maybe your heart broke or something. You broke up with your girl or your guy, and now you got to go spend money on doing other stuff. So I think people spend emotionally off that, and we all go through specific type of emotions on a daily. I think, the reason why we're here is to talk about how we can alleviate some of that and, get your mind right. Like he said, he don't get that way when, he get too emotional. That's stoicism. You kind of have a nice little median and a nice little balance to, not go out and go crazy. So I think, the emotions that we we all experience happy and sad. You know, you just got to learn how to start balancing that.
But all of them. I think it's not just any particular emotions. I feel like all of them. When you get hungry, people, you know, they say when you're hungry, don't go grocery shopping, right? Because you're gonna buy everything in the store because you're hungry right then and there. So you know, make a list, make a checklist, so that when you go, you get what you need and not all of these things that you want because your hunger taking place, right? So I think it's the same thing. I think all is not just specific emotions. I think all of them, you know, play some type of part in how we do things, and especially when it comes to just spending. I think all of those and having those in check. And I just like the word stoic. Being stoic is kind of like being self-aware. Like, okay, like I'm not. Yeah, okay. I'm feeling something, but my first was ain't to go, you know, break my bank account, you know. So you thinking about those things. So I think being self-aware is important, so that you don't have these bad spending habits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so, but can we also talk about market manipulation as well? Because I think when you go inside the store, it's really set up for you to like go buy something. You know, it's a certain way that stores have certain things designed. Like even when you like go inside Kroger and you come out, like there's all type of small things that kids can access. It's reachable.
And they do that on purpose.
They do it on purpose.
I read this study that they put the unhealthy foods at the eye level of the children. So then they can go ahead and grab those different eye level foods. It's like interesting.
And it's marketing, but it's marketing. It's a marketing strategy. You know what I mean? So, but once we understand that, we have to be the ones who be like, no, because you only want that because you just see it or whatever. But you know, you know what I mean? Like because think about when you walk into the grocery store, they have a little bin right now with all the little dollar stuff, the stuff that you can get 10 for 10 and get 4 for 4. You know, you like that. I done filled up my carpet with 10 juices already, and I ain't even walked into the actual grocery store yet, right? So it's those things of looking at those things and being like, wait a minute, am I getting played right now? So I think marketing takes a place though, but how is that a bad thing? Because is that a good thing? You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just their strategy of how to get people to buy more. So we have to be more in control than they are.
Got to be more stoic.
And I was going to say, taking another step further, is even on the phones. Like our own psychology is playing against us on our actual phones, like the marketing tools that they use, like what the ads that they're actually showing you, like to get you to spend more. Like you can just be in your bed and spend a whole lot of money just by shopping on Amazon. Okay, they already got your credit card signed up, lined up, linked up to your account, and you don't need this.
Not even just Amazon though. Like, I mean, literally this morning earlier, I looked out my window and it's a Kroger van outside. You ain't even got to go to the grocery store no more. So I think to your point, it's how we react to it and how we look at it and view it, because we need the marketing scheme. We need, we need stuff that's going to attract us because, we run businesses ourselves. So
the economy definitely still got to keep flowing. You're right. So that's where it comes back to that self-awareness. Like that's why that's so important.
Well, and it's also why you should be in tune with your emotions, right? So that way, because marketing is important. We all understand that. There's nothing bad about marketing. That's what we're supposed to do in order to reach more people. The challenge in that is if somebody who's not have their emotions in check, now I'm spending money and I don't even know why I'm spending money. I'm in the middle of the night, I'm playing a game on my phone and this ad comes up. You know what? Do I need this? No, I don't need it. But you know what? This look nice. And it's only $4.99. You know what? I'm gonna get this. Next thing you know, I'm gonna go ahead and get that. You know what I mean? Now, you spend $10 trying to get it, and then they like, oh, but you like this? You know what?
But this
Temu.
Free shipping.
And let me put this out there. Temu is like a master marketer right now. Do you hear me? Like buy one thing. I bought something for when I had my daughter's baby shower. They sent me more text messages. Them and who was the other company that sends you? They sent Shein is a few of them. Fashion Nova. I mean, they send you text messages like clockwork. Like, hey, you got a $1 credit, you can get something for $1. I'm like, what is going on? So it's a marketing overload is what it is. It's marketing, but now they like, we hungry. We need you to buy a little bit more. We need you to keep coming back. How do we get you? And mind you, we ain't even buying nothing from our country. We buying something from a whole nother country. We paying for a $30 extra to come from one plane to another plane. You know what I mean? So it's real interesting how we decide to buy something.
Right.
You know what I mean? The decision to buy something, we don't ask any questions. So like financially, when we go back to spending, do we ask any questions like, well, dang, am I gonna be off my goal? You know, I got a spending plan and I'm gonna pay my car off next month. But if I buy this, is this gonna take me off we don't ask ourselves, we don't hold ourselves accountable when it comes to how we spend money. We feel like, and we can talk about this because it may go back to when we were younger and we didn't have no control over our money. Our parents controlled our money, or they told us what we could buy. You can only buy 2 bubble gums and you can't buy nothing else in the store or whatever, right? So now that we're adults, we got all the control, and now I can buy everything I want. Now I want this, and I want that, and I want this, and I want that, and I want this, and I want that. And now it's that consumption of I'm an adult, I can do it, so I'm doing it. Does that make sense? And so I think that's what the challenge with people is I got too much control. I got control over this, and not being stoic enough, right? To make those decisions like, you know what, I don't need this right now.
I think kind of the biggest problem for one, I would say, is they never taught it in school.
Yeah, that's
They never teach that shit in schools to us, at least not in our schools. And then most, I feel like, public education, they not getting it.
Yeah.
And yes, I would say it definitely starts at home. Yeah. And, you know, like you said, your parents doing everything for you. Your parents, they just doing it for you rather than showing you. They giving you the fish rather than teaching you how to fish. But ain't that what we go to school for?
Right.
Shouldn't we be learning that at school?
Well,
I feel like your household should be
did your parents, were your parents financial literate? I mean, I don't know if we should be
Yeah.
saying it, but like, you know, was financial literacy an example that you actually see in your actual household? Because I can say for me, that was not a reality for me.
Most things are caught and not taught. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so you
right.
can tell your kid, hey, do this, but they're catching what you're doing. They're watching your actions. They get more from your actions than they do than what you say. So if I'm telling you, hey, you my son, hey, you need to be saving, but I'm over here like I'm spending, I'm going here, I'm doing this, and he looking like, well, she always spending money. I might not have told him that I've been saving money for years, or I did this, or I'm not really teaching him anything. I'm just telling him not to do something with no reason behind it, not giving him the full scope of, hey, this is what you need. This is why I'm telling you not to do this. We tend to tell our kids, and in our community, we just tend to tell our kids no without telling them why. Does that make sense? And they need to understand the why, because that's why they go against what we say. Does that make sense? Because they don't know. Well, why are you telling me no?
The how? Like, what's the how? Like, what's the skill? Like, what's the skill to set up like a planning or a budget? Like, what does a budget even look like? Fortunate for me, my dad actually, I watched him budget, and that was actually pretty cool. Like, I never seen that before, but you know, we were on a fixed income, but I would watch him budget from the beginning of the month, and that was very helpful. But I've never seen that. I don't know if I would ever even know like the importance of actually spending, like making sure you budget your money and make sure you're paying your bills on time. I wouldn't have known that because I didn't see the tool to actually prepare you to actually do it. So I thought that was
And when you say financial literacy, I think that is, so like you know how to do that, and you don't really necessarily struggle with understanding I got to pay my car note at this point in time. I got to pay my Duke bill at this point in time. So I think there is a point where your parents did teach you financial literacy because you have that, because some people can't even do that, you know, and I feel like that's basic.
Yeah.
It's super basic of financial literacy, but like I said, I feel like some people can't even do that. So I think, and especially I look at it as like this: we have way more resources than what our parents had.
I agree.
For sure. And also just the time that we came up in, we talked about it earlier, like I feel like you can't necessarily blame your parents because they didn't have everything that we had and access to what we had to even want to teach us, or even to know how to teach us, and maybe nobody ever taught them. So how can they teach us something that they don't even know?
But that shows you that how the generational trauma continues to pass down throughout the whole generation because we are not stopping the buck. Like, well, but it sounds like the buck is being stopped with us, thankfully, but that's how you can see how that trauma has been passed down.
Well, think about it like this. So I gotta pose a question. What do you guys believe is people's relationships with money? The psychology of money goes back to what do you believe money is. So what were we taught about money? What's the colloquials that we always say? I'm not an ATM machine. Money doesn't grow on trees.
Yeah.
You know, we say all of these things, and we wonder why we have the relationship that we have with money. We feel like we shouldn't have money.
Yeah.
You know, I've sat down with people and they're like, well, you know, if I have too much, you know, I only need this, and this, and this. And who says I'm going to be wealthy one day? Well, with that thought process, you're never going to be there. Does that make sense? Right. So it's understanding, like, what is your relationship with money? Do you know that money is just energy? It flows. And if you keep repelling it away from you, you don't wonder why it's not coming to you. Does that make sense? So our thought process is about money. Our relationship with money is a deep rooted thing on how the psychology of money is affecting us, right? Because if your parents didn't have a good relationship with money, you're not gonna have a good relationship unless you go learn it. Like you just said, hey, we got new resources, so unless you make a decision, hey, I love my mom and dad, but I know they struggle. And I don't want to go through that struggle, so I gotta go find the solution to my problems, right? You know what I mean? Because I can't, like you said, I can't just say, oh, well, my mom and them didn't have no money, so I'm okay. Do y'all know that the median income today in 2023 is the same as it was in 1980? Wow. It actually went down a little bit. So the median income is $50,000 was the median income in 1980 in middle income families, and it was 55,000 then. It's 50,000 today.
Oh, I don't.
So the median income is going backwards, and we're not fighting to learn more about how our money working. In different communities, they understand how they need these resources to make the money flow because they understand what they need it for. Let me not generalize us. Let me not generalize our people, right? Some people in our communities, they tend to believe that, hey, we can't never do this, we can't never do that. The African American median income is 17,000. We behind the main people. Right. But we're not thinking of how can we do better. We so busy focused on how we feel. Let me go buy this. I gotta have Starbucks. And not to say that nobody else does. It's just the fact that they're teaching their kids about these wealth principles. Like, listen, you need to have life insurance. You need that. This is gonna give you instant wealth when I die. I got money saved, but you ain't even gotta spend the money I saved because this is gonna give you the money right now. That can continue to grow. Yeah. We don't educate our kids like that. We're like, well, listen, I ain't gonna leave my kids nothing. You know how many times I hear that? You know how many times I hear people say, I ain't gonna leave my kids nothing. Right. Well, dang.
Well, they leaving them something.
With debt.
And secrets and problems. Debt, secrets, and problems. It's like so the challenge is like we gotta start having a better having a better relationship with money. I guess my gym early. We need to have a better relationship with money, right? And we need to start we have to have a better relationship with money, and then we have to start educating number one ourselves, and then teaching those principles to our kids early. Give them an allowance. And start saying, hey, you're going to get $10 at the end of the week. We're going to see what you spent this $10 on. Like, what did you budget in? You know, teach them how to budget that $10. Hey, you want this? When they come back to you and say, hey, mommy, I really want this toy. Okay, what's your goal for the week? Make them work for it. Hey, so if you go out and so now you're teaching them entrepreneurial skills. Hey, if you go out, you're going to cut a couple of yards today. You're going to shovel some snow, or you're going to sweep the backyard, or whatever it is. You're going to rake some leaves, whatever it is you're going to do. Okay, I'll give you this much money for that. And we gonna map out how many hours are you gonna have to work to get that. And they appreciate what they doing because now you're giving them principles as kids and they understand it as kids. But we as adults are so busy in our own mess And that's the trauma. We going through our
Yes.
mental, it's so many people going through mental issues and mental battles because of money and the stress. We don't want to take the time to teach them. We so stressed out about it, we not taking the time to teach them.
The psychology is the most important when they're the youngest.
Yeah.
Get them while they're young.
So
Yes.
research shows between the ages when you were born in 7, whatever your life is exposed to at that time, it kind of shapes the way you become as an adult. So they say they can almost pinpoint how somebody will show up as an adult based off their first 7 years of living. So that's pretty impactful if you can say that. So just imagine how much exposure of different things that kids are getting exposed to, and adults feel like, oh, they're just kids. They, they wouldn't remember this. Well, our subconscious mind is always open and it's always imprinted. So
So how do our childhood experiences and upbringing influence our financial behaviors?
I feel like
Yeah,
we
I'm
touched on
saying,
that.
touched on
Yeah.
it. Yeah, touched on it.
I feel like we said, to me, it's more important that it should have been taught in the household, but it should be taught in the school. And like you said, if your parents don't know anything about it, how can they teach it? But I mean, I like to think like, so if you, especially now, because like I said, we got so much more resources that, especially kids, because they got cell phones at the age 2, 3 years old, 4 years old, they got access to certain things now that we didn't have. So I think just naturally they'll be able to, have way more than what we have just by the experiences, just because they're gonna be able to access the resource more and more readily now as a kid. But I think you just have to do better as a parent. Like, even if you don't understand financial literacy or understand everything, because nobody does,
Right.
you have to push and advocate to your child, like, this is what you need to do, like, or this is what you need to learn, rather than me trying to learn it. Or put your kids in the right environment so somebody else is teaching them the right things and the right tools to obviously grow into those type of skills.
But that's why
Yeah.
it's important when we were talking about before about the different schools and the different experience at different schools. Think about that. Like when you go to one school, they are teaching them about driver's ed in school. They're teaching them about economics in school. They have some type of financial literacy. And you go to another school, they don't talk about none of those topics at all, right? So it's one of those experiences where we know that the world in general is separating those things for us. So we have to kind of take a step forward and say, hey, I got another question for you guys. How do you guys feel that men and women, when it comes to psychology between men and women, and the reason I bring this question up is because women, and specifically African American women, are behind the wealth gap. And the reason that we're so far behind the wealth gap is because we are not the breadwinners. We the person who's gonna take no. It don't have nothing to do with spending. Listen, we're the caregivers of our family. We're the ones who will go quit our job and go take care of our family.
Yeah.
We're the ones who are gonna put our kids first. We're the ones. So the reason we're behind the wealth gap has nothing to do with our spending habits. Is because we have to take on more. You know what I'm saying? So we got to take on more. So it decreases the income that comes in, right? For us. However, if you look at other cultures, they're farther ahead of us, but African American women are the most educated people on the planet. So the
Yes.
most educated people on the planet are literally African American women. So that's a big disparity when it comes to, the psychology of
I
money.
will say with that though, I think that that is the problem in my head, that sometimes women try to put their family and stuff before themselves. They don't take the opportunity to necessarily educate themselves on certain things before. They rather just say, oh, well, let me go help him do, or let me go help my daughter or my son do this, or let me just do it for him, rather than, you know what I'm saying? What they say on the airplane, if the plane going down,
mask on first.
put your mask on first before you try to help somebody else. So you got to educate yourself as a parent. And I think women, because to me, they think more emotionally than men. And obviously, like we talked about, men are more stoic in a sense. They can have that level balance of saying like, no. And I'll give y'all a perfect example. Sorry if I get off topic a little bit. When I was in school, I had to take out student loans. And, you know, you can always have your parents sign up for, you know what I'm saying? I had to take out so many that I had to ask my pops to do it. But when I first asked my mom, do it. No questions asked. She don't even really probably even care what's going on. She just know I need the money to go to school. But I asked my pops because I got too much, you know what I'm saying? I asked my pops, he tell me no. But in my mind, I already know my pops got way more money than my mom has. And he more financially educated than my mom is just by, I know he run businesses. But in that moment, I felt, because I didn't understand how money worked, I felt like, I mean, I ain't gonna say I was mad at my pops, but it's just like, why he ain't do it for me? And I feel like it's more so because he had the emotional balance to say, I'm not about to put myself in a situation, whereas like, so now I gotta pay back my student loans, but if I don't pay it back, it might come back on him. You feel me? And he don't wanna put himself in that situation because he thinking in the future.
Yeah.
And I feel like, yeah, exactly. And I feel like women not thinking like that.
Exactly.
Most women don't think like that because they want to do what's great for their baby at the moment.
And I just feel like we are socially conditioned as women to pretty much be nurturing, to show up for our families, to sacrifice. Like, that's just the way we were conditioned. It's unfortunate. But me personally, I try to advocate for self-care and self-preservation, not being selfish, but definitely having boundaries. Because if you don't, I mean, you'll just keep taking and pulling. People will keep taking from you as long as you keep allowing it.
And I think that's one of the biggest generational differences, you know, especially for women, because like you said, women used to just be in the household. They used to take care of the household. They clean up around the house, especially in the African American community. That's all they doing. They ain't going out and working. But now y'all working, plus y'all trying to be the in the house type of the mom too.
breadwinners.
And I think you know what I'm
home,
saying.
the bread and the
If you
bacon.
don't have the balance, if you can't understand the psychology balance that you need to have, trying to manage both, you get overwhelmed.
I got a
easily.
question for you because I'm glad that you said that, right? So let's look at this, because if we look at different ethnic groups, right? They wives are stay-at-home moms. They don't gotta work.
Right.
Okay? And they wealthy. These wealthy women, right? So the difference is,
So you said they wealthy women?
so their husbands are
husbands are
wealthy, so
wealthy.
they're wealthy. They married, so they got, you know what I'm saying?
right.
So it's a difference because in our community, we gotta be what the man is supposed to be in our household. So now you when you talk about this balance, I'm supposed to, my role on this earth is to reproduce, right, and manage and lead our family. So I'm not lead the family, but make sure that the family's good, right? I'm supposed that's by nature, that's
Natural. Not
that's
lead.
naturally
Nurture.
that's what we're supposed to do, right? And the man is
Naturally
supposed to be
nurture.
the one that guides us and leads us. But if that part right there, if the mental or the healing ain't there with the men, these women is taking on not only what they're supposed to do, but now they taking on his role too. And that's where we get.
But I feel like that goes to the social construct of the homes. Like when we were raised, like most people are raised by what? Single
moms.
So unfortunately, where's the dads? The dads have left the families and the dads are not there. So, I mean, unfortunately, there's women that has to show up and
I mean,
do all that,
and take care of everything.
I like to look at things, especially from my perspective, because I talk about my pops a lot.
Yeah.
And he was raised by a single mother in a household in Wind Terrace. Y'all know what Wind Terrace is for the people who don't know that ain't listening from Cincinnati. I mean, it's a ghetto neighborhood, but it's the projects, so they would say. But to me, he turned out to be a great man without a father and raised by a mother. So I don't take a lot of excuses from people saying that, they can't do it or they gotta just a woman steadily is gonna put her focus on her kids and not, you know what I'm saying? Because to me, it's not about a matter of money. It's about a matter of discipline. Having the right discipline and having the right mindset to, you know what I'm saying, do those type of things is really, because money is just a tool. Just talking about it earlier. What is money? Most people don't know what money really is. You know what I'm saying, and how they even use it. So, to me, it's about the discipline that's instilled. My pops was a single boy in a five person household, a single boy, and grew up to be a great man. And he knew how to lead without, you know what I'm saying, without having that. So I give props to my grandmother for one, to say that she would never be a man, for sure. She would never be able to raise a man how a man could raise a man, but she did a hell of a job. And I think I just don't really take many excuses when it comes to those type of those things, that women can't do it or they can't have that specific balance. They just need to focus. And where my grandmother got it from, I don't know. She got it from somebody, obviously, to raise a man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and all of them, like all my aunts doing great for themselves, going on and did great things, and are financially literate to, you know what I'm saying, to be able to pay bills and live in places and have their own stuff. So
That's awesome.
it definitely can be done. Yeah.
So can y'all elaborate on you guys' emotional connection with money? Like, what are some things that people could do? Because I think it's good to talk about this stuff, but what are some solutions that we can give to the people as of right now?
I would say first, tap into therapy. Get a therapist if you feel like you're having some issues with your emotions, if you're out of control with your emotions, if you feel like you can't manage that by yourself, you don't have a sense of self-awareness, therapy will help you get that.
And I was going to say, the next thing you
know.
know, you're going to need a financial advisor. That's what I'm going to say. Like, you need a therapist, but you also need an advisor. You need someone who can help guide you to a place that you've never been, and help you and give you a second set of eyes to look at your situation. Sometimes people are so depressed about their situation, and then you come in and look at it like, well, you're better off than what you think you are. But because you think you're so bad, you keep looking at your picture from this negative standpoint. And if somebody comes in and just, tweaks this little thing, and it's like, oh, I actually got extra money. Oh, I didn't realize I was making. So it's just, if you have somebody who can come in, a professional that can come in and sit down with you and help not only educate you, but give you the right tools to help you do these things and walk you through the process. Hey, can I call you? Can we meet every month? Whatever we need to do to make sure you stay on track is very, very important. So get a plan, get a therapist, get a plan, get a financial advisor.
Can you state the question?
Yeah, what is your like emotional relationship with money? Like what like ideas or things that you can give people?
First thing I would say is read, and educate yourself, because I mean, to me, money is not everything, but it's literally one of the most important things that we have in our lives that we use on a daily basis. So if you're not educated about it, then I mean, you're gonna fall behind because you're illiterate to the game. And that's especially being in America. We live in a capitalist society, and that's kind of how money flows. But on top of getting, advice from other people, after educating yourself, I would say that, you just have to learn how to balance. Everything is gonna have to be a balance in what you do in your life, and writing down what you do, because a financial advisor is just gonna tell you pretty much what you can already get, all the resources that you can get free online. And if you read the right things, you can really help yourself out. But writing things down and having a plan, that's the biggest thing. Having a plan of what you're gonna do with your money, where your money gonna go, is the biggest thing, and that will keep your emotional state at balance and on being stoic, and learn how to be more stoic so you can keep your emotional state in balance. And stoic to me is just being in like a mid state, not too high and not too low, and being able to say no to certain things, or being able to say like, nah, that's not what I do or how I do something just because everybody else is doing it.
And in the midst of it all, just be like Eder. That's
better than
yeah. I like that. Hell yeah. Be better than Eder. I like that. Okay, all right. But definitely be stoic. So with that being said, that gets us into our next segment where we drop a gem.
So I will go first. The gem that I have is she mad I was gonna steal hers, but the gem that I have is if you're not planning, or I forgot how the saying goes, but it's basically just going around planning. You know what I'm saying? If you're not planning what you're doing on your day-to-day basis, you're not gonna succeed with anything. So having a routine, having a game plan. What I was gonna say, if you're not tracking, you slacking. That was the quote that I had. If you're not tracking, you slacking. So I feel like any type of goal that you're trying to accomplish, it could be measured. And if you learn how to track it, you'll be able to have the measurement. You'll be able to know when you're gonna accomplish the goal or when you wanna meet the goal. So if you're not tracking, you slack.
I like that.
Yeah. Tracking you slacking.
So pretty much just tie it back into like emotional balance, being more stoic since we've been running off about that term. I'll just say just find ways to distress the body, distress that nervous system, calm your nervous system. So that kind of coincides with being more stoic. And that doesn't require you to spend a lot of money or anything like that, but just engaging more into like nature, walking, taking deep breaths, stretching. That's something I like to do. I like to stretch. Listening to music, working out. Those are some good things you can do to kind of help de-stress your body. So I say start engaging more into those type of activities. Yeah.
If you if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Right. So making sure you have making sure you have a plan in place is very, very important. And it doesn't. Eder says something like, hey, you got to track what you're doing. Get an accountability partner. That's what your financial advisor should be for you, an accountability partner. It doesn't cost a lot of money to have a financial advisor. Most of them are actually free, right? But what you need is somebody who can hold you accountable to what you said you wanted. You said you wanted to be free. You said, and you know that your discipline isn't there yet. So create some consistency in your life. Get some habits. Get some good money habits. Get the discipline that you need to create a budget and a plan for yourself. Create a spending plan. Right? I don't like to call it a budget. I call it a spending plan because that's what you're doing. You're spending money. So create a spending plan for yourself and say, hey, I'm going to stick to this and I'm going to start making my money work for me. Like that's the whole goal of becoming financially independent is learning how to make your money work for you. We work hard. We work very hard to make $1, right? And you got to make that dollar work for you. I want you to ask yourself these questions, right? How old was I when I first started working? How old were you when you first started working? How old were you? And I want you to ask yourself, however you are old today, how much of that money do you have saved today? And I'm pretty sure most people will be like, ooh, all right? I already know what you're saying, right? And I want you to ask yourself, do you want the next 20 years to look like the last? And start taking control of your finances. You have all the power. Eder's absolutely right. There's so many books and resources on money and read.
Tips and tricks.
If they put it in a book, you ain't gonna read it, right? That's why they write the books, because they know you're not gonna go read it. Go get the information. It's out there, right? Go get the information and I promise you, you will succeed.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there. Yeah, I'll say be better than Eder. Be stoic. And really most of all, just honestly, just be yourself, but understand self and try to find ways to learn about who you are as a person. I think it's good to do all these things. Like it's good to, and I'm really speaking on myself now, but I think it's really good to have certifications, to have awards, to have different things. But I think it all goes back to the roots. Like, what are you grounded and connected to? And because your circle is what's going to like pull you up, you know, out of those roots, out of those things that you've been traumatized in. So it's just like, who are the people that's going to influence you to make the right decisions, whether it be about wealth, health, all those things. Like, you need to find more people that can influence that optimism, that the autism, and just people that can help you just make better decisions overall. I think that's the best thing that anybody can do for themselves. Kevin Hart is a good example, the Netflix special, of how he he went somewhere with his friends, and he went somewhere by himself and his friends weren't with him, and he made a bad decision. So it's just like, it don't even matter. That's what I'm saying. It don't even matter about the type of money you got, the celebrity. Like, if you ain't got that circle of influence, like, it's a wrap. Like, you might as well just set yourself on fire.
That's right. That's why they say don't take your friends to the interview, right?
Yeah, do that.
Take your friends to the
I
interview.
would just get better friends.
If you don't got great people around you, get great people around you.
Can't change the people around you.
Change the people around you.
Or just change yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure, what you control.
Yeah.
So it's time to shout out these businesses.
Yeah, it's time. I got one, my boy Big J's. I ain't been there in a long time, but y'all got it. What is it, Caribbean food. Definitely go to Big J's. I don't know what the exact location, but it's here. It's right here in the Cincinnati. You got to go to Big J's. Like, his food is on point. Finneytown, there it is. I don't know nothing about Finneytown. He do. Yeah, there it is. Yep.
I would like to shout out, I'm a big YouTube university type of person. Yeah, I don't really even watch TV anymore. I'm watching YouTube. I mean, it is on TV, but you get what I'm saying. Chris Sang is his name. Chris Sang is a YouTube entrepreneur. His page, he teaches about health and wealth. And I get a lot of information from that guy. So Chris Sang.
Check it out.
Yeah, you should. Yeah.
So if you're looking to stay in a nice furnished 2-bedroom luxury apartment, I'll say check out Building Realities. There's a new latest property in Pleasant Ridge, so not too far from Kenwood, a couple minutes from downtown. If you want to log into our book with them, then you just www.buildingrealities.com. So want to shout that out.
The business that I want to shout out today is Victory Lane Boutique. It's over on North Bend Road. Tori is amazing. She is just amazing. I knew her when she was younger, but I mean, we wasn't besties or nothing, but I knew who she was. But we different age range, so we did. But she's a phenomenal young lady. She owns. She has some Airbnbs. She has if you need a styling booth, she has a little booth rental that she rents out, and she can get you together. If you need an outfit for the weekend, you got to go on a date or whatever you need. You can go over there and they will get you together. They're super nice, super friendly. They do have an online, so you can go online and then you can go to the store and pick up your clothes if you need to, or they have delivery. They can get them delivered to your house. So I love that. That's my spot. So shout out to Victory Lane Boutique.
And last but not least, shout out to our sponsor, K&S Graphics. They create personalized gifts. So they did the t-shirts. All right. So I appreciate Selena Wright for that, for always just coming through. So with that being said, shout out to us.
Yeah.
Shout out to us for another episode.
Shout out to our camera crew.
Production team.
Appreciate
William
y'all.
Francis Theater. They host all different types of events. Shout out to them. All right, 4 levels. Yeah. Penthouse.
Okay.
Penthouse.
Pull up.
Yeah. So that's a wrap. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thank y'all. Another one.
Another one.